Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Cyberverse Commander Class Dreadwing. Apparently the new demolitions expert, because Breakdown is not a very good demolition expert when he's already himself demolished. Now, I know a lot of people were actually kind of really on the fence about this, because the original character that we got in this kind of look is his twin brother Skyquake. Now, as far as I know, it's up in the air whether or not we're ever going to get a Skyquake figure. Maybe at some point in time as a limited edition or a Takara or Arms Micron version or something like that. But right now, in terms of retail, we're getting Dreadwing. And you can see, like I said, Commander Class, rank of 9. Now, how can that be? Well, I flip around here on the back, and it says that Dreadwing is fiercely loyal to Megatron and is nearly as savage in battle as the Decepticon leader himself. As a Seeker, he proved himself a force to be reckoned with. As Decepticon's second in command, he may be the end of the Autobots. So there you see it, second in command, because Starscream is pretty much gone by this point in time. He's kind of rogue, running around doing his own thing, which is kind of interesting. You see his fighter jet mode, the robot mode, other characters in Transformers Prime that have figures, with the exception of this version of Starscream. And I mean, honestly, I really do like the way that this guy looks. So I'm really kind of curious to see what we have. But there you go. So let's get him open and see how cool Dreadwing actually is. Okay guys, so here we have Dreadwing opened up and out of its packaging. And as you can see, really nice jet mode on this. Now, I don't know anything about jets, and I no longer have the packaging for this guy. So I don't know if that actually said what kind of jet he is, but he definitely looks like an F-22 Raptor to me. He definitely has that movie kind of Starscream look. I honestly don't know. But I love the coloring on here. You got some nice kind of silver on here, which looks really good. The kind of blue. I love the yellow bits on here. I love the Decepticon logos on this. Zooming in, you can see that he's got this kind of Air Force look to it on the actual Decepticon logos, which really looks very cool. Got this big giant clear yellow bit right here. I shouldn't say clear because it's not clear. A translucent yellow bit. And you got the weapons here as well that I'm gonna take off for you, and showing those off first. This is his giant gun, and I know it's hard to see because yellow and white probably don't go well together. But zooming in here, you can see some nice detail kind of going on through there. You got some peg holes in there where you can actually take this and peg it in there. But speaking of the sword itself, you really do have to be careful when you actually remove it. This is really kind of weak, it seems, and you can see that right up in there already has a stress joint forming. So you definitely want to be careful with that when you're removing this. If you have that pegged into something, kind of grab it by this bit right here and pull it off like so. But as you can see, very nice looking sword, just unfortunately probably a little bit weak right there. And those just pegged here on the bottom. But I also find it funny that he's got a landing gear right here as opposed to being kind of up in the front. I like the fact that they included it. They didn't need to. But very kind of weird that it would be that far back. Kind of Transformer, what you want to do, come around into the bottom, kind of take these, rotate these out just like so. Take these arms, spread them away from the body, and then take these little legs and untab them. They just tab underneath here. You got a little hole section right in there that that plugs into. So you're going to rotate these, just kind of get these out of the way. Rotate these down. You're just kind of according it back like so. Then rotate them around, and then take them and slide them back up like that. Then rotate them here at the leg. Take the foot, fold that out like so. Bring that down. Again, leave these kind of out. Rotate this section down, and bring this down. Kind of get these out of the way, and that's going to peg in right like so. Now the instructions actually tell you to leave these, well, fold that down. It tells you to leave them up like this. That kind of looks retarded. So fold these down, and it looks a whole lot more accurate. And here you have Dreadwing actually in his robot mode. Now, one thing that I want to mention here in the back was, well, kind of in the back here, when I first got this guy, these were actually not pegged down. Now, let me kind of show you what I mean. Let me lift this up, kind of get this out of the way so you guys can see, kind of, sort of, hopefully, what I'm talking about here. Get these arms out of the way. Now, if you look inside here, you can see that there's a little pin joint right here, and it's all unattached, and you can actually see a little tiny hole right there that if you take this and lift this up, underneath there is a little peg that this goes down and pegs into. Now, when I got it, this wasn't glued down or anything. Now, thanks to Pia, and I'm probably going to say his name wrong, on Twitter, Valkyries, they mentioned that this is probably actually going to break the figure in the long run. Because when you come around here to the back, you can see that these pins are definitely a little bit further in. Now, when they're normally like that, you can actually push it up and you can see that it's a little bit further up, and then when doing this you can see it pulling back down. Now it doesn't go all the way down, and I've done this several times on both sides, and it creates this effect, and it looks like it was originally designed to do this, and I thought that they still intended to do it because it still did it on mine. It wasn't glued down like on Pia's figure. So I naturally thought that it was just Hasbro forgetting again to put something in the instructions. But they did mention Pion, that Valkyries guy, that probably will break this over time. So if you guys do this, just be aware that it's something that potentially could break your figure. Now, like I said, I've done this numerous times. I can fold this back up and peg this to the underside right up in here, and it stays on there nicely, and they're not really loose. I mean, they're loose when I untab them, but once you kind of angle them down, that's it, and they don't go down any further, so it's not like it's really going to continue to pull that peg out, or that pin, have it pop out. So if you do decide to do this yourself, just be aware that it's something that could cause a problem later on. But in doing so, it gives it a much more screen accurate look, and I really do kind of like it. I can see where they probably eliminated it, because to actually keep the pin up there, or keep the pin as big as it need to be, it probably wouldn't be too flush, and I would imagine that by having it slide back and forth over time would probably stretch that hole out. But, you know, I mean, over time we'll see, and when it comes down to it, this is just a Cyberverse figure, so it's not too terribly expensive. But please guys, do be careful. I don't want anybody to break their toys, contrary to what some people say, so do be careful if you do choose to actually do this. But as for the figure itself, you can see this thing looks absolutely wonderful. The only problem really is this big giant piece that sticks out. But overall, it's a really cool looking figure. I absolutely love this. I really do hope that we actually get a Skyquake repaint of this, in a Skyquake version of this mold in general. Well, he's drunk. Now, in terms of his weapons, you can take these, and they can peg right here on the back on the little peg that I'll show off here in a minute that lights up. So you can peg that weapon right there, then you can take this, and you can have him holding a sword, just like so, although he doesn't really hold the sword too well. It kind of pops out. You kind of have to put it on an angle to get him to hold it, but I love the fact that he comes with both his sword and his giant, ridiculously huge cannon. Now, unfortunately, just because of the way it is, you can only kind of hold it like this. You can't turn his head, which I think would be awesome. That would probably make this figure absolutely the best. But the screen accuracy of this particular character is, in my opinion, one of the best. This guy in Megatron from the Cyberverse line, easily the most screen accurate looking robot modes that we've gotten in a Cyberverse figure. Bringing the Energon driller in here. One thing that somebody actually mentioned in the video, and I just thought I would show it off, the thing right here, the gun, can actually peg into this hole, and in doing so, pushing this button actually kind of makes the actual drill itself also light up. So whoever mentioned that to me, thank you very much. There it is, I showed it. But you can take this, you can peg this into his back, and you can light that up, and again, very kind of cool looking. I love the way that looks, and you can see it also lights up there in the back, but that's just really cool. I love that feature. As far as articulation, like I said, nothing unfortunately at the head. The shoulders here are on ball joints. You kind of have to lift that up, because you lift it up, that's going to come up anyhow, so kind of get that out of the way. The elbows here are on ball joints. The hips are on ball joints. They also rotate here at the upper part of the thigh as part of the transformation, and he also bends at the knee. I guess you could kind of say he's got some toe articulation, but that's really kind of weird. But absolutely awesome little figure. Now, to transform back, just take this section, rotate this back and around, and then you're going to just bring it in like so. Kind of get these out of the way. Move the wings out, and again, take this section, accordion this down. You're going to flip the legs in like this, rotate this. Oops, no, I'm sorry. Let me get the wings situated. So take the wings, if you have them like this, just kind of lift them back up, and they peg on the inside there, right underneath the actual silver joint. So then rotate this around, bring these legs down, and then take this entire section and slide this forward like so. Take the feet, put them like so, rotate them around just like that. And then, like I said, you got the little hole under here and that little tab, pegs underneath there as well. And do that on this side also, and it's kind of hard to see because it's all up underneath there. There we go. And then you got little holes on the inside here that these tab into. Just bring that in like so. Take these, fold that down, and here you have Dreadwing back in his jet mode. Now, when it comes down to Cyberverse figures, again, you really kind of know what you're getting. These are definitely kind of budget sort of figures for Transformer fans that, you know, maybe not necessarily have a lot of space for their collection or don't have a lot of money to get these. And Dreadwing, in terms of Transformers Prime toys, is probably one of the best. Now his jet mode, I honestly think he is the best. His jet mode does a good job of representing how a jet should look. I mean, obviously, except for the bottom, which there's his arms, there's his legs, there's, yeah, all that stuff. But I mean, really from the top, it looks really good. With Megatron, it looked like Megatron's alternate mode, but that alt mode really does kind of suck. But the robot mode is fantastic. This guy has a very nice and very passable looking alternate mode, really kind of fun transformation, and then really a robot mode that is absolutely wonderful looking. I mean, this figure just in general is a wonderful, wonderful toy. So without a doubt, guys, I would highly recommend picking this up when you see him at stores. Definitely well worth it and a lot of fun. So until next time, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.